Hello, I'm Jeff Byers, and this is Andy 235, Character Modeling and Rigging, and we are on to our next project, which is Module 4, creating a new outfit for our character. So we start with a base model. I've got my head separated from the body, so I'm going to take the head away, and I'm just going to focus on this. Now, is there something you need the head for? Go ahead and have it in there. We already know how to select faces and even cut into the geometry and create the clothing that we need. I'll do that again. We'll do something very quick. I'm going to do a halter top. But the idea is now to show you a different technique as well. So let's say we do loose clothing. Obviously, unless she's wearing a skin tight suit, then that doesn't really work. So, and if you were to extrude the legs and form pants, which is easy enough to do, but then you run the risk of being inefficient, meaning that we'll have to move all those vertices out anyway to loosen up the pants so they're not skin tight. So how do you do stuff like that? Well, we've done a jacket, we've done all that stuff, so there's other ways, and I'll take you through that part of it. Alright, so right now we'll do the basic stuff. Go to the front view, and I usually just go ahead and turn off the grid. And we want to do a halter top. Okay. So the easiest way to do that is to either do the marquee select tool, okay, where I'm actually, or painting, marquee select tool, where I just take this tool and just go around just the areas that I want to create this halter top. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here like that, and you can see now we need to make those, finish the selection off, just kind of see where we're at. So go ahead and finish this off very easily. You get stuff like this is kind of weird, but we'll work with that, and you can make adjustments later. So I don't want the very top ring here of her neck, so I'm going to go ahead and deselect those, and maybe one more row, but that's going to get into this weird stuff here. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and keep it like that, and I need to go ahead and finish that up. There we go. Okay, so usually I tell students to go ahead and duplicate your mesh. That's the smartest thing to do. So you want to duplicate it, and you want to put it in a layer, and click on that again, because I already got the duplicate in there. It remembers what I did. Mine's actually smart that way. So we'll do Control E, and you want to pull that out with the blue, okay, arrow, and you can see I've got a nice start on the shirt. Okay, so really basically the only thing I need to do to finish this piece up would be to extract the areas that I need to have. Since I have already got that thickness I want, clothing is fairly thin. What I'll probably end up doing is the next step is to extract the pieces. So with that highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and go in here and just double click on that. That goes all the way around the bottom, and I'm going to do that to the sides of the by the shoulders, and do this one over here. So whoops, that happens sometimes, so just be careful. There we go, that goes around. Perfect. Again, if you don't like where your vertices and everything lay, I wouldn't move those. I would just go in there and cut, do the multi-cut tool, and just cut where you want your edge to be. Let's say the shoulder strap is that strap is too wide, so you'd want to make that thinner. So really can't do that without cutting this in okay, and then getting what I want. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and go to Edit Mesh and go to Extract. Down here has one piece. Okay, I already know that. So let's go ahead and click off. For some reason it just doesn't see it as, let me do that. Let's do separate. Maybe that'll help. Separate. Nope, don't want to do that either. So it should do extract. Not sure, it's because I didn't. There it is. Oh, did it do it? Yeah, looks like it did it this time. Okay, perfect. Alright, so it did it this time. Wonderful. Alright, so what happens though is that you've destroyed your model, meaning that whatever you had there before is destroyed, as you can see. Okay. But that leaves you with this piece here. I'm not sure what happened here. That is kind of strange. I didn't really select that. Maybe I accidentally did that, but I can get rid of those. Okay. So the idea now. Oh, great. I got rid of something I didn't want to get rid of. There you go. Okay. Delete that one. Okay. So now we're going to go into selection mode and we're going to start adding edge loops. And again, I'm holding down the shift key, key in my left mouse or my right mouse button. Insert edge loop, and so I'm going to go in here and insert edge loop so we keep that structure. I'm going to do that, and I guess I didn't get that part of the neck done. That was pretty dumb. I have to go back and do that, but you guys got the idea. And let's go in here. Alright. Okay, so I can fix that pretty easily just by extruding and scaling if I want to do that. And that'll make the top part, and then I'm going to do extrude again, and we're just going to move that down like that to form the inside of the neck piece. And we'll even scale that. When we move that down, we can kind of scale that out a little bit like that. And I'm going to go back in here and add an edge loop where we need it. We're going to keep that nice and tight right there, and then we're going to do the inside pieces here like that. And then around the edge here, we usually like to do pretty tight right there, and then around here, the front part. Now this may or may not let me do that because it doesn't look like it. We got kind of a cut there. So we'll have to fix that. There are things you have to fix, you know, obviously. Okay, now we're going to go in here, go back to edge mode, and click on that guy right there. We're going to do another extrude, and this means we're going to go in. And I usually like to scale it out a little bit like that. Just make sure you don't go through the fabric. Okay, be careful. When you hit the 3 key too, you can see whether you do or not. Alright, so again, we'll go into here, and we'll add an edge loop right here and right at the edge there. Okay, and you'll do that for both sides. Okay, this is kind of how you finish your garment off to make it look more realistic. So I'm just going to go ahead and move that in, and then of course scale that out a little bit. Be careful not to go through, and then you add your edge loops. There we go. Okay. One more place to do this with is the bottom. And we'll get that in there. And move that up. Okay. Okay, so now we've got like a really tight shirt. This is destroyed, so I usually just delete that. I go in here with this new object, and I just kind of scale it up. I'm going to go into polymodeling and delete the history and center pivot, and just scale that up a little bit. I'm going to open up my other character, scale it up a bit, and a lot of times I'll just scale it a little bit wider and move it around. Maybe make this a little bit wider there. And me even may want to move vertices around. The soft selection tool, I always forget about that. And let's just start pulling out vertices. I'm hitting the Q key and just kind of pull those out a little bit more so they're not perfectly aligned. Okay, hit the B key to get out of there. Okay, that looks good. All right, the next way would be to go in and actually model the clothing itself. Okay, so I wouldn't start with a cylinder. A lot of people do, but I go to polygon, go to pipe, and I go ahead and start with the pipe. There we go. And we'll start with like somewhere with the arm. And what you do is just rotate that around and add subdivisions and just basically move vertices around until you get it the shape that you want, or the scale that you want, or the size that you want. And that would give you looser clothing, give you something to start with. And then I would highly recommend you guys get maybe Mudbox, and that's free, kind of like ZBrush. Yes, it's not exactly the same as ZBrush, but it does kind of the same thing where you can model folds of clothing. Okay, so that's another way. That's another technique where you just move vertices around, cut these, and just kind of form the clothing you want. So that's another way. And then of course another way would cost you a little bit of money, but you could get Marvelous Designer. Okay, Marvelous Designer is 30% off personal license you can buy now. Oh, there we go. $35 a month. That's really not too bad. It's pretty cool, and it would save you a lot of time. There is work involved though. Quite a bit of work actually. They say it's easy, but it's not that easy. But that's an option for some of us. I don't even have it, but I would love to get into it. It'd be kind of fun. I have Cyflex. Cyflex is pretty cool. And then there's a new one called Quailoth or something like that. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but this is a class simulation is pretty dang good, and I've heard a lot of really cool things about it. And it's let's see, rental pricing starts at $295 per year, and I think Marvelous Designer is $210. So, but Quailoth, it looks like it's a little more robust in what it can do. So if I was to go and actually get something, it'd probably be this one. But I want you to do your research first. But what's nice about Quailoth is that it gives you, from FlexGear, it gives you 90 days, like 3 months to play around with it for free. So take it. I'm going to do that probably the next 3 months and show you what I come up with. But that looks pretty fun. Looks pretty cool. So anyway, these are other options for you too as well. anyway, hope you have a good day, and just keep working hard and get your stuff in on time, and I'll talk to you in the next module.